Alright, I wanted to say respect for you, Prepper, for telling the truth and telling it like it is. And I want to say I'm not a great speaker without the people interacting with me. So I can only tell it without you asking questions to me. Normally I could fill in the gaps you have, but at how the internet works, it doesn't work that way. So I'm gonna do my best to try and explain the main storyline, and the details you can always ask me, but well, just let me know, okay? And then I wanted to get into how we got into the system, and where it came from, and how the truth is always being infiltrated. That's what they do. A lie on itself is nothing. There has to be some truth where the lie can wrap around. But let me get started on Babylon. Babylon was about 5,000 years ago, and the king was Nebuchadnezzar, if I'm right. And he had a dream, but he didn't remember the dream, nor did he know the meaning of the dream. So he asked all his magicians to tell him if they knew what the dream was and what the meaning was of the dream. And none of them knew. And then an advisor, if I'm right, told him there was a man, a faithful man that maybe could tell him, and that person was Daniel. And Daniel told him about a statue with a golden head and a bronze shoulders and brass feet. And the king said, "Yeah, that's what my dream was about. And can you tell me its meaning?" And he said, "Well, the the golden head is your kingdom, and it is one of the greatest, and after that will come another kingdom, and etc." That's how the story went. But after that, Daniel got a place in the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar, and he was set for life. So now, what happened with the system in Babylon, was that after they got in the growth, the people started talking different languages, different words, to not let other people know what they were planning and thinking and doing. That's how the branches of different languages came to be, because by always telling the truth, being honest, and telling it in the same language, everyone knows what you're up to. But if you start making your own languages and words, you can trick people, because they don't know what you're talking about, and you can plan behind their backs. So that's why they all got all these different and complex names, like IMF, ECB. In these times, that's a lot of trickery what they're doing. So after they all started talking different languages, that's what corrupted it. Everybody started talking different languages and stayed away from each other instead of knowing each other, and they just started backstabbing each other and working around everybody, trying to get the upper hand. And that's how Babylon fell. Now after Babylon fell, it was quiet for a while. Not really much happened as far as I know. After that came Egypt, and Egypt had a pharaoh named Horus. Horus was a one-eyed man spiritually and physically. He got in a fight with his brother, if I'm right, and he stuck out an eye of him. Now, coincidentally, they were born on he was born on the same day as Jesus. And what I'm trying to tell you with this is that there are many um, tricks up the devil's sleeve to try and trick man into the right system and believe truth. And Horus is one of them, who tricked the people to being their slaves and built great monuments like the pyramids. The only reason the pyramids, etc., got built was for the astral location, um, um, with the stars, and for the slaves to really have something to be proud of and to keep them busy. You know, there's some days they were working the fields where the food grew, some days they were working in the brewery, some days they were working on the pyramids and the great monuments they were building. Um, Now, how it came to be that Egypt fell was one of the Jews, Moses. He came to the slaves and he said, "Come with me if you want to be free." And a lot of them were aware that they were slaves, simply being used, and so they followed along. And he led them through the desert, through, I think it was Israel where they were led, but I'm not sure. You can find that out for yourself. It's not really important for me because I just want to know what the foundation of truth is and what the lie is, what is built on the foundation, because a lie always wraps around it, as I said earlier. Now, um, what what Horus did was let slaves get some prestige by building the pyramids and get the food and the wealth for himself, and so he gave some food to the slaves just to keep them alive. But most of the times they were whipped and harshly treated. Now, after Egypt fell, Cleopatra um, mm, married with Julius Caesar, and the Roman Empire became was already very powerful, but Egypt incorporated, if you can call it that way. And after Rome got big, we got Europe, and as far as I know, right after that, we got Europe in a big way, like we got now. And it still hasn't ended. As far as I know, we have Mystery Babylon now, which is America. We got the Beast um, with the war on it, which is Europe. And we got China, which is the dragon. What I think is important for me to explain is how the interpretations work, and how you know truth, because if you are truthful and you're honest in your heart, you can always find the truth. Just as long as you step through the lie, and then you see a lot of gibberish. And the thing that shines most, that connects the most dots, is the truth. So only if you got a lot of separate things, which could be the truth, and you can connect them to another to make a line from the past to the future, you know that you got the truth. Now, the important thing I want to explain, I think, is the seasons, which Jesus spoke about, and how we know the times. Only by looking at what man is doing at this moment, you can see the times. And how the prophets did this was by looking in the past and look at how the things developed back then, and how they could develop in the future, and how they will develop in the future. Because by looking at the past, you can tell what will happen in the future. Let's say I'm a father of a son. Since I know I have grown up, I can tell he has grown up. And I also know that he will die. Now, if I plant a seed and there grows a flower out of it, I know this flower will give another seed to make another seed, another flower and make another seed. That's how the nature loops itself. And since we are part of nature, we will loop ourselves too, in a physical being, but also in a spiritual being. The things we create in our spirit, let's say Nimrod or Nebuchadnezzar wanted a kingdom in his spirit and he made it manifest. Now everything we create with our mind which is not of God will die inevitably. In time, always it will die. So the dream of Nebuchadnezzar's kingdom would in the end die. Um, and so we can say what Nimrod and Nebuchadnezzar had in the past, which was Babylon, will happen also in the future. Now the only question for us is, uh, when will this be, and how will it come to be, and how will we know that this is the time? Because I think this is the time, and if you understand what I'm telling you about how it repeats itself and how there are only minor changes, like our names can be different, um, we can make small differences, like Babylonia had the Tower of Babel, but we have mega structures that are of steel, etc. That are minor. That are minor changes. If you look at it over 5,000 years, what has changed? We are with a lot more people now, with a lot more new souls that have not yet experienced life. So for them, they're really blind in these times, and for the people that know truth and can find truth, they have been here before, I think, or they at least have a relationship with God, with the truth, with the Creator, which is the um, the representation of God, the Creator, is nature here. By nature we can tell who is truthful and who isn't, because everyone who denies the nature and accepts technology as their savior, etc., is deceived. It's a blessing for me to be able to talk to you and to get your videos back at me so I can get some more knowledge and at least some people that think on the same level, you know. Yeah. So do concern the times. Do look at the times, because you will only know them if you know the past. If you accept the past and accept that it can be foretold, with the exception of minor details and specific names. Because why Daniel called it the beast is because he had no name for this system that has now enveloped us all. He had to explain it with the knowledge he had, and it was a vision he had. He didn't see um, the system, how it works and how we would call it. He had a vision of how it would encompass. He had a vision on the base of his knowledge of the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar, so you can't expect him to call it by its name. Okay, that's it for now. If you have any questions, just post them. And if you got any comments, post them. Thank you for watching, and have a good day or night.